Good morning, dear students. I hope you are all fine and welcome back to our session.
Yes, sir.
So today we are going to learn one of the chapters from our supplementary reader. Name of the supplementary reader is Moments, and this is chapter number 6, Weathering the Storm in Ersama. Okay, I hope you have keep your book open with you, and here I am sharing with you also the textbook on your screen. You can see from the NCERT website. Already the link was shared with you to watch a video, also to read the text and to listen to it as well. And I'm sure that many of you have, no, most of you, no, all of you have read it and listened to it and have tried to understand it very well. So what has your experience been about this? What do you understand from the title itself? Anybody? Be spontaneous in your answers. Come on. No one? Have you read the text and also listened to it? Arya, Atar, Avni, Manan, Pratham, Sarthak, Kylie, say something. Don't just keep quiet. Sally says she has read. Sally, then can you please briefly explain what is it about or what did you understand in it? What is the title itself says about weathering the storm in Esma? Yes or no? Okay, without wasting time, I think if she's saying something or not, don't know, but you have kept yourself all muted. But Sally says microphone is not working. Anyway, few months ago, and in previous year also, there were some cyclones. They hit the part of Odisha, some part of even Gujarat. The recent one hit our nearby also. We ourselves have experienced, the speed of wind blowing in Ahmednagar. At the time, I think, what was the name of that cyclone? Nisarg. Nisarg cyclone. Before that, Fanny was there, and in previous year and this year also, I think two to three cyclones have hit our some part of India, even some part of Maharashtra, and we could also experience it some way. And this is the text all about the storms. There are different kinds of there are of some different kinds. Many of storms are there. Okay, and here is one of them. That is the weathering storm in Ersama. So where is this place? The cyclone that hit Orissa in October 1909 killed thousands of people and devastated hundreds of villages. For two dreadful nights, Prashant, a young man, was marooned in the roof of a house. On the third day, he decided to go to his village. Did he find his family? And that is the story here, dear students, about one of the boys. His name is Prashant, who had just went, who had gone out of his village for some other purposes. He could survive, but when he went back to his village, did he find his parents there, his family there? That is a question, and I'm sure you know it. But before that, I would like here to show you this place in Odisha, the Ersama. And here it is. Can you see? I'm showing it on your Google Map. Are you able to see, dear students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'm changing it to satellite view. and also zooming in out so that you can see how far it is from here. And exactly can you see one of the photographs here from that village, Ersama? It seems to be a temple, right? The way it looks, it is a culture there. So this is Ersama. Can you see the location here? This is our place, Maharashtra. Here we are, and you can also check the distance also from our place, Ahmednagar to Ersama using Google Maps. Okay, but we will not go much in depth of that. You can check if you want, right? So you got it where it is in Odisha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now let's come back to our text, weathering the storm in Ersama. Would you like to watch a video about it, about the story in an animated form? As you have already read it and listened to it, I'm sure you have understood. But let's check your understanding because these are the stories from our supplement reader moment that I'm not going to explain. You just need to read it yourself, and here we are just to discuss about it so that we can confirm and ensure that all of us have understood it. So, would you like to watch it? An animation summary?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no, dear students? Be quick in your response, or is my voice taking time to reach you? Yes? So, here I am now going to share with you one of the videos. No, it will try to elaborate briefly with the summary from this text.
नमस्कार, मैं वासु। आप देख रहे हैं कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी सिंप्लीफाई यूट्यूब चैनल। और यार, आज हम पढ़ने वाले हैं क्लास 9 मूवमेंट बुक का चैप्टर वेदरिंग द स्टॉर्म इन असमा, जिसे लिखा है हर्ष मंडेल ने। तो ये चैप्टर है एक कैरेक्टर प्रशांत के ऊपर, जो इस चैप्टर को नरेट किए हैं। इस चैप्टर में बात की गई है 27 अक्टूबर 1999 में ओडिशा में आए हुए सुपर साइक्लोन के बारे में, जिसमें लाखों लोग मारे जाते हैं। तो इस चैप्टर में हम बात करेंगे कि कैसे प्रशांत अपने और अपने पूरे विलेज को इस सुपर साइक्लोन से बचाते हैं। तो चलिए वीडियो को शुरू करते हैं।
नहीं।
ये बात है 27 अक्टूबर 1999 की, जब प्रशांत अपने गांव से 18 किलोमीटर दूर अपने दोस्त के घर एरसामा में अपनी एक दिन की छुट्टी सेलिब्रेट करने जाते हैं। वो दिन बहुत ही खूबसूरत जा रहा था, लेकिन शाम को एक बहुत ही बुरी खबर आती है। उन्हें पता चलता है बे ऑफ बंगाल में एक बहुत बड़ा तूफान आया है और जल्द ही एरसामा में हवाएं 350 किलोमीटर पर आवर की स्पीड से चलने लगती हैं और कुछ ही मिनटों में पानी कंधे तक आ जाता है। प्रशांत के दोस्त का घर तो सेफ था, क्योंकि वो ब्रिक्स और सीमेंट के बहुत ही हार्ड कॉम्बिनेशन से बना था, लेकिन शायद गांव के सारे लोग इतने खुशनसीब नहीं थे। प्रशांत अपने दोस्त के घर के आसपास देखते हैं तो सारे लोगों का घर टूट चुका था। गांव के बहुत पुराने पुराने पेड़ अपने जड़ से उखड़ के पानी में तैर रहे थे। चारों तरफ लोगों की डेड बॉडीज तैर रही थी, एनिमल्स की आवाजें आ रही थी। और कुछ ही मिनटों में प्रशांत और उनके दोस्त को भी अपने घर से बाहर निकल के छत में चढ़ना पड़ जाता है। एक तरफ तो हवाएं 350 किलोमीटर पर आवर की स्पीड से चल रही थी और वहीं दूसरी तरफ पानी कंधे तक भराया था। और ये केवल कुछ मिनटों के लिए नहीं था, अगले 36 घंटे तक यूं ही पानी का लेवल लगातार बढ़ता रहा और अगले 36 साल तक कुछ यही कंडीशन रही। और अगले 36 साल तक प्रशांत, उनके दोस्त और उनके दोस्त के फैमिली मेंबर केवल कुछ ग्रीन कोकोनट से अपनी लाइफ चलाते हैं, जो उन्होंने उनके घर के ऊपर गिरे कोकोनट हैं कि वो अपने घर, अपने गांव की तरफ निकलेंगे, जो 18 किलोमीटर दूर है। बेशक ये फैसला बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल था, क्योंकि सड़कें पानी में डूबी थी और दूर दूर तक केवल और केवल पानी के अलावा कुछ भी नहीं दिख रहा था। लेकिन वो डिसाइड करते हैं कि वो अपनी फैमिली के पास जाएंगे, क्योंकि जैसे वो आज से 7 साल पहले अपनी मॉम को ऐसे ही एक साइक्लोन में खो दिए थे, वो किसी और फैमिली मेंबर को खोना नहीं चाहते थे।
Are you all able to hear, dear students?
वापस जाते हुए
Yes,
उन्हें
sir.
उनके गांव के 2 और मेंबर दिखते हैं और वो तीनों एक साथ निकल पड़ते हैं अपनी गांव की ओर। रास्ते में उन्हें लोगों की डेड बॉडीज हटानी पड़ रही थी, एनिमल्स की बॉडीज हटानी पड़ रही थी। वो एक बड़ी सी स्टिक लेते हैं जिसकी मदद से वो रोड को एलोकेट कर रहे थे, और फिर उसी के सहारे वो अपने गांव की तरफ वो 18 किलोमीटर का रास्ता तय करते हैं। पर जैसे ही वो अपने गांव पहुंचते हैं, वो देखते हैं उनके गांव में एक भी घर सीधा खड़ा नहीं है। वो अपने घर को देखते हैं तो उनका घर पूरी तरीके से एक पेड़ के नीचे दबा हुआ था और वहां कोई भी नहीं था। जब प्रशांत गांव पहुंचते हैं तो वहां उन्हें लोगों की डेड बॉडीज के अलावा कुछ भी नहीं दिख रही थी। लेकिन प्रशांत हिम्मत नहीं हारते हैं और वो रेड क्रॉस सेंटर की ओर बढ़ पड़ते हैं अपने फैमिली मेंबर्स को खोजने। तो रेड क्रॉस सेंटर गवर्नमेंट और एनजीओ मतलब नॉन गवर्नमेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के द्वारा बनाया गया एक बहुत ही पावरफुल कंक्रीट और स्टोन का स्ट्रक्चर होता है, जहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग एक साथ रह सकते हैं, और वो इतना पावरफुल होता है कि वो बहुत बड़े बड़े साइक्लोन और सुनामी से भी अपने आप को रजिस्ट कर सकता है। प्रशांत कुछ ही देर में रेड क्रॉस सेंटर पहुंच जाते हैं और वो जिस सबसे पहले इंसान को अपने फैमिली के देखते हैं वो थी उनकी मैटरनल ग्रैंड मदर मतलब उनकी नानी, जिन्हें देख के वो बहुत ज्यादा खुश होते हैं और जल्दी ही वो देखते हैं कि उनके आसपास उनके फैमिली के सारे मेंबर खड़े हैं। उनकी आंटी, उनकी बहन, उनके भाई सारे के सारे ठीक हैं। वो ये देख के बहुत ज्यादा खुश होते हैं कि उनके फैमिली मेंबर में कोई भी इस साइक्लोन के चपेट में नहीं आया। लेकिन उन्हें पता चलता है गांव के 85 लोग उस सुनामी में मारे गए। अब उस सुनामी को आए हुए 4 दिन हो चुके थे और फाइनली उन्हें ऊपर से एक हेलीकॉप्टर जाता हुआ दिखता है जो उनके पास कुछ पार्सल सेंड करता है जिसमें कुछ राशन और उनकी बेसिक नेसेसिटी की चीजें थी। और फाइनली वो 4 दिन बाद कुछ खाते हैं। वो सोचते थे कि हेलीकॉप्टर वापस आएगा और वो दोबारा पार्सल सेंड करेगा, क्योंकि वो सामान बहुत ही लिमिटेड अमाउंट में सेंड किया था, लेकिन वो वापस नहीं आता है। और फिर 19 ईयर ओल्ड प्रशांत ये तय करते हैं कि वो अपने ही जैसे कुछ यूथ लोगों को इकट्ठा करेंगे और वहाँ के रिच मर्चेंट्स के पास जाएंगे जिनके पास राइस का बहुत ज्यादा कलेक्शन है, और उनसे कुछ खाने की डिमांड करेंगे।
ZTV
नाही Z5
वो शेल्टर में रह रहे 2500 लोगों में से सारे यूथ लोगों को कलेक्ट करते हैं और मर्चेंट के पास जाते हैं, और फाइनली बहुत ज्यादा प्रोटेस्ट के बाद वो मर्चेंट मान जाते हैं राइस देने के लिए। वो बहुत मुश्किल से राइस को शेल्टर तक लाते हैं और उस गीली लकड़ी में किसी तरीके से आग जलाते हैं और फाइनली राइस पकाते हैं। उस राइस को खाते समय किसी को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा था कि वो राइस खराब हो गया है या सड़ने वाला है। लेकिन अगले 2 दिनों में वो राइस भी खत्म हो जाता है और अब उनके पास हेलीकॉप्टर से आ रहे खाने के अलावा और कोई भी ऑप्शन नहीं था उनका पेट भरने का। लेकिन मिलिट्री हेलीकॉप्टर्स के द्वारा आ रहा खाना सफिशिएंट नहीं था 2500 लोगों की नीड्स को पूरा करने के लिए। और प्रशांत एक आइडिया देते हैं, वो छोटे छोटे बच्चों को कहते हैं कि वो बाहर निकल जाएं, सैंड में लेटें और अपने पेट में कुछ खाली बर्तन रख के सो जाएं, जिनसे हेलीकॉप्टर ऑपरेटर्स को ये पता चल जाए कि यहाँ पे लोग भूखे हैं। और कुछ ही देर में ये मैसेज उन तक पहुंच भी गया। जैसे ही वो देखते हैं कि लोगों के पेट के ऊपर खाली प्लेट्स रखी हुई हैं, वो जल्दी से जल्दी बार बार वहां पे खाना पहुंचाते रहते हैं। लेकिन प्रॉब्लम केवल और केवल खाने की नहीं थी, यहाँ पे लोगों को बहुत ज्यादा चोटें आई थी, बहुत सारे लोगों ने अपने अपनों को खोया था। अब उस साइक्लोन को आए हुए 6 दिन हो चुके थे, लेकिन अभी भी पानी उसी तरीके से भरा था और वो लोगों के चेहरे में सैडनेस एकदम साफ साफ देख सकते थे। अपने आसपास की उस हालातों को देखते हुए प्रशांत ये डिसाइड करते हैं कि वो केवल और केवल गवर्नमेंट पे हैं कि वो ऑर्फन्स बच्चे और विडोज के लिए टेंट स्टैच करें। सारी के सारे वुमेन्स और बच्चे वहीं पे रुकते हैं और बाकी सारे मेंस की ड्यूटी होती है कि वो खाना खोज के लाएं और उन 2500 लोगों में से जितने भी बच्चे थे और जितने भी वुमेन्स थे उनका पेट भरें, जिससे सारे के सारे मेंस बिजी हो जाते हैं। सारे के सारे वुमेन्स बच्चों की देखभाल करने में लग जाती हैं और धीरे धीरे जिंदगी वापस स्टार्ट होने लगती है। और हाँ, ऑर्फन्स मतलब होता है वैसे बच्चे जिन्होंने अपने एक या दोनों के दोनों पेरेंट्स को खो दिया हो, और विडोज मतलब होता है वो वुमेन जिन्होंने अपने हस्बैंड को खो दिया हो। और जैसे ही कुछ दिन बीत जाते हैं, प्रशांत उस वुमेन्स को भी कहते हैं कि वो एनजीओ में फूड फॉर वर्क के लिए काम करें। फूड फॉर वर्क मतलब होता है आप काम करो तो आपको खाना दिया जाएगा। ऐसे बहुत सारे एनजीओज होते हैं। एनजीओ मतलब होता है नॉन गवर्नमेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, जो साइक्लोन प्रोन एरिया में लोगों को सफाई करने के बदले खाना देते हैं। और तो और वो बच्चों के लिए क्रिकेट भी ऑर्गेनाइज करवाते हैं, जिससे बच्चों का मन कहीं और लगे। और तो और जब फाइनली साइक्लोन चले जाता है और गवर्नमेंट ये डिसाइड करती है कि वो ऑर्फन्स बच्चे और विडोज वुमेन्स के लिए कुछ नए इंस्टीट्यूशंस खोलेंगी, तो वो इसका भी अपोज करते हैं और वो कहते हैं कि ये दोनों के दोनों इंस्टीट्यूशन अलग अलग नहीं होने चाहिए, ये दोनों एक साथ रहें तो ये और ज्यादा अच्छा होगा, जहाँ ऑर्फन्स बच्चों को मदर लव मिल जाएगा और कहीं वुमेन्स को जीने का एक नया सहारा। तो यार इस स्टोरी में प्रसाद ने हमें ये मोराल देने की कोशिश की है कि अगर आप अपने गम को भूल के दूसरों के लिए काम करो तो आपको अपना खुद का दर्द महसूस ही नहीं होता है। तो यार बस यहीं पे खत्म होता है ये चैप्टर। आशा करता हूँ ये वीडियो को बहुत पसंद आई होगी। अगर हाँ तो इस वीडियो को लाइक कर देना, बेशक अपने दोस्तों के
Arya, understood something? Is it something that you have read and listened to in this story? What do you say, Nishan? Nishan, did you understand it? Let's see, whatever we have watched is there in the text. Hmm? So this story took place on, you can see here, on 27th October 1909. Just 7 years after his mother's death. Whose mother's death? Prashant, the important character here in the story. And he had gone to block headquarters of Ersama, a small town in coastal Orissa. We have seen it on Google Map where it is. And there it rained so heavily because of that cyclone that you can see how they could save their lives somehow with so high speed of wind and even water, and it was raining very heavily. Then you can see the speed here given, the velocity of wind was 350 kilometer per hour. And as in the story that you could see that how they were helped, how the people, here is Prashant, that are trying to survive themselves and also others. He was more worried about his family members. And when he went back after a few days, he could see that his maternal grandmother was also there, and helicopter you can see here also that those rescue operations was there, and NDRF, those army people were also trying to help, but that help was not enough. And people were starving, and due to lack of food, scarcity of food there, they were all hungry and starving. Here you can see a picture given there on page number 40. But Prashant, you know, gathered all such youths like him and went to some NGOs and also to some other organizations so that they could all come together and help these needy people in order just not to provide them food but also shelter. And as we could know that many of them became widow and also orphan. In children were without parents because their parents were no more, and also some wives were without husbands, and so they were widows. So it was the text. I'm sure you have understood it, and if you have read, you must uh, have written also the answers that were shared with you. Would you like to watch one more summary? with proper, not explanation, but just animation. What do you say, dear student? Are you all there? Arya, Aryan, Kushal, Nishan, Palak, Pranav, Pratham, say something. Madhura. Okay, we will watch. Okay. Here it is.
Here is the summary of the story Weathering the Storm in Ersama by Harshmandar. On 27th of October 1999, Prashant was visiting his friend in Ersama, a small town in coastal Odisha. In the evening, a dangerous storm blew into the town. Prashant had never seen such a storm in his life. Furious winds and continuous rains raged around the house. The storm blew away their houses. The friend's house was made of bricks and mortar. It was strong enough to stand against the wind. But it could not prevent the family's terror as trees fell on the house, cracking the roof and walls. For 36 hours, the storm raged around the house. Water entered their house. The household took to the roof to escape the water flooding inside the house. 46 hours later, it was the first time Prashant saw the devastation left in the wake of the cyclone. Brown water covered everything. There were dead bodies of animals and people floating in the water. Trees were scattered among the bodies. Not a single house was left standing. The next 2 days, the family and Prashant lived on the roof. Prashant, throughout the time, worried about his family back home. He wondered if he would lose his family like he lost his mother. On the third day, he decided to trek back to his family. The town was still flooded, and his friend's family warned him that it would be dangerous. But Prashant was determined. It was a long and difficult journey for Prashant. He used a stick to find his path. As he walked further, he had a first-hand experience of the devastation that he had earlier seen on the roof. He was disturbed by the bodies he had to push aside as he made his way through the water. These sights also made him feel helpless. He was sure his family had met the same fate as the bodies in the water. When he reached his village, Kali Kuda, Prashant was terrified to find his house destroyed. There was no one in sight. He decided to go to the nearby Red Cross shelter to search for them. As he entered the shelter, he saw his maternal grandmother. His grandmother rushed to him, crying. She thought it was a miracle that he was alive. Prashant took count of his family. He felt grateful they were all alive. The next day, Prashant took stock of the situation in his village. Lives and homes had been lost. There was very little food left. His community was succumbing to grief and sadness. Though Prashant was only 19, he took charge of the village. He organized a youth group to get rice from the local merchant and distribute it to the survivors. Next, he organized volunteers to clean the shelters and tend to injuries. 5 days later, on the 5th day, a helicopter dropped a few food parcels. When it didn't return, the youth volunteers collected empty utensils. They had young boys lie on the ground with empty utensils on their bellies. This message got through to the helicopters and relief came frequently thereafter. There were also many children orphaned by the cyclone. Prashant brought them together under one shelter. Women were brought in to look after them while men procured food for them. Prashant also realized that the women and children left grieving after losing their families needed to be engaged. He convinced women to join the Food for Work NGO program. He organized cricket matches to distract the children. Prashant and the Youth Task Force rejected the government plan for removing the women and children to institutions. He believed in resettling them in their community to enable a smoother healing process. Prashant, suffering from his experience of the cyclone, found new purpose and comfort in rebuilding his own community. Whenever a woman or child felt sad, they would seek the support of Prashant. His efforts show how a crisis can bring about heroism even in ordinary people.
Thank you, Arya and Rajandini also. It was muted and I was speaking. Anyway, did you enjoy the story? Was it interesting?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Perhaps just join immediately. Okay, those who could not watch, they may send me personal message on WhatsApp. I will share with you the link, and also the video of this session will be uploaded to YouTube, and in the description of that video you will be able to watch the summary in animation form that we have watched. Am I audible now, dear students? Well, can you hear me, everyone? So let's discuss now some question and their answers. The meanings are there: glossary, menacing, that is dangerous and harmful; incessant, it means unceasing and continual; then swirl, that is moved or flowed along with a whirling motion; carcasses, it is dead bodies of animals; bereaved, that is lost a close relation or a friend through his or her death; remnants, that is small remaining quantities; motley, that is disparate, varied in appearance or character; and tumult, that is uproar or a disorderly row. And here we are now going to discuss, think about it. The first question: what has the super cyclone wreaked in the life of the people of Odisha? Okay, before we discuss this question, I would like again some of you to answer my question that I had asked, but I was muted. That this is a real story, you think, or it is just an imaginary fictitious story? Yes, say something, someone.
Real.
Yes, very good. How can you say that it is a real story? That the characters, name of the place, and the date has also been mentioned, and so we can say this is a real story. Right, dear students? So Prashant can be a real hero, not just the heroes we watch in the movies. Understanding? So the first question now you can answer that I'm putting here in the chat box. What how has the super cyclone wreaked in the life of the people of Orissa? Find out the answer. If you can find in the summary that I'm reading, that is okay. I'm just reading now for you. Prashant was a young boy of 19 years of age. He belongs to Kalikuda, a village in the coastal state of Orissa. He had lost his mother 7 years ago. On 27th October 1999, On 27th October 1999, when he was visiting a friend in Ersama, a super cyclone hit the area and there was large-scale devastation. The gushy winds and rains continued for 2 days. They remained on the rooftop of the house and survived on the tender coconuts from the coconut trees that had fallen on the roof. As the rain stopped, Prashant left for his home as he feared the worst for his family. He took a stick to help him find the road. At times, he had to swim through the floods waters. On the way, he met two friends and their uncle, and the group moved together. They came across dead bodies of human beings and animals which floated with the current. As they crossed villages, not even a single house could be seen. Prashant's house was shattered too, and he saw the belongings hanging on the branches of the trees. He wept as he felt that he had lost his beloved. He went to the Red Cross shelter in search of his family. There, Prashant met his maternal grandmother. He was elated to see him alive, as they had not expected that he would have survived in the storm. Prashant saw a crowd of 2,500 people at the center. Many had lost their families in the disaster. They were grief-stricken as the catastrophe had snatched everything. For the last 2 days, they had survived on coconuts, but they were running out of stock. Prashant took control of the situation. He formed a group with some elders and young people. They forced the merchant to give them the stock of rice and were successful. After 4 days, the crowd ate a meal. Then the group of volunteers cleaned the center and tended to the injured people. Prashant engaged the widows to work in the NGO named Food for Work. He engaged the children by arranging sports matches for them. The volunteers managed to set up foster families comprising of the widow, orphan children, and lone men who would form a family and support each other. Like this, Prashant overcame his grief and learned to smile even in the face of adversity. And now we will come back to the question that was what havoc has the super cyclone wreaked in the life of the people of Odisha? Can anyone answer? Yes, dear students, can you? Here I am putting the answer. The answer is the super cyclone led to mass destruction. People lost their lives, their homes. Many people lost their homes, lives, and their beloveds also. Children lost their parents, women became widows and were rendered homeless, and the people were left with nothing. And this way, we can say it was a great havoc for the people in Odisha because of that cyclone. Right? Even Shreya Patil answered that it wrecked everything in Odisha. That was there in our textbook. All you could see. The houses were destroyed, people lost their families. Very good, Shreya Patil. Right answer you are telling. Now the next question is how had Prashant, a teenager, that he was just 19 years old, been able to help the people of his village? He was just a small kid, we can say, just 19 years old. Just had completed his adolescent stage. Despite that, he has been able to help the people of his village. How? That is the question. Can anyone answer? Yes, dear student, come on, answer. I'll repeat the question. How has Prashant, a teenager, been able to help the people of his village? There are many ways that Prashant could help the people in his village. And you can say that firstly he formed a group of volunteers and got prize for the people from the merchants. Then he encouraged the people, especially the women, to clean the shelter and tend to the injured to help them. Thirdly, he sent messages to the passing helicopters demanding food and other necessities. You know how they put the utensils or the plates, empty plates, on their stomach and lie on the ground. That way they sent a message that they had nothing left with them to have or to eat. And then, it started getting food continuously, regularly. Then another way that Prashant guided the widows to work in the food for work NGO, and those widows who had lost the women, their husbands, started working for the NGO, and they started working and cooking in order to supply the food to the people affected. Then he arranged sports events for the orphan children so that they can forget about the grief that they had of losing their parents. And at last, we can say that Prashant and also the volunteers set up foster families for them. And that way people came together, formed their families, and started helping each other, forgetting everything about the grief that they had due to the impact of that flood due to the cyclone. Right, dear students? Do you understand? Yes or no? Got the answer of this question number
Yes,
two?
sir.
How Krishna has been able to help the people of his village? Very good. Now the third question. I know that you have already read the story and have also written these answers, but let's discuss. The next question here you can see is there. I am also putting in the chat box that how have the people of the community helped one another? What role do the women of Kalikuda play during these days? So just nearby village is Kalikuda, from where he is natively from, and he had gone to Ersama, the neighboring village, that with his friend, right? So the question is, how have the people of the community been able to help each other, and what role did the women of that village play during those days? What do you say? Anybody? So you can say under the leadership of Prashant, because he was leading them all, right? And he was the person who took initiative that time. And so the people of the community came together and decided to help each other. They went to the local merchant and got his stock of rice. They cooked the rice on a fire burned with the branches from the trees and ate a meal after 4 days. The merchants there, that time they had enough rice in their stock, in their shops. But it was of no use, na? Because the people were dying out of hunger. They had nothing left with them to have food. And so they requested, and as the people went to the merchants, they could not say no, and finally they distributed that rice and was finally cooked on the fire with those branches of the trees. And then after 4 days of the gap that they had nothing for their stomach, they finally got and had it to their heart's content in order to survive. Then they signaled the military helicopters for food and health. The widowed women looked after the orphan children, and the men arranged food and other necessities. So this is the way people or the community, including the women, could help each other under the leadership of Prashant. And question number 4 here, you can see that why do Prashant and other volunteers resist the plan to set up institutions for orphans and widows? What alternatives do they consider? And firstly, those institutions for orphans and widows to be formed, the people firstly planned, but here Prashant and other volunteers, they opposed it and they wanted some another alternative. So what was the reason that they refused or resist that plan, and what alternative do they consider? That is the question. Can anyone answer? Hurry up. No? Today you have been very less responsive, dear students. Didn't you understand the story well? Yes or no? Hello? So simple it is that Prashant and other volunteers resisted the plan to set up institutions for orphans and widows because they felt that isolation would increase their grief. They are just getting food, they are working for some time, but again thinking, and people also are always thinking of them that they are orphans, they are isolated, like they are widow, and that grief will not let them live their life happily. And so they wanted that these people, even orphans and the widows, should be the part of society. And another alternative, as you can read in the text, that they suggested or they considered that they wanted to settle them in a foster families of their own community where they would love and support each other. And those families are called foster families where the people from different families at last comes together and support each other and also love each other. And that is the way, dear students, that Prashant helped these people resisting the plan for the orphans and the widow. Right? Good. Gayatri, Saili, they have been answering. But it's better that you say loudly so that we could also hear it here. No problem that you are also putting in the chat box. The next question, let's see on the next page, that is question number 5. Do you think Prashant is a good leader? Do you think young people can get together to help people during the natural calamities? I think it is self-response question, and also the next question, that is talk about it. You can easily answer them. So here at least you please say something, dear students. Come on, just yes is not enough. I know that you all agree that you can do anything, children. But how? Yes, Rakesh is a very good leader. And of course, he proved himself doing everything, not for his family alone, but for all the people in the community. And he did not just work himself, but he encouraged and motivated others to come together. And finally, it proved that the people in the community accepted his leadership and worked a lot for everyone so that they could all together come out of that grief and that natural calamities. So yes, Prashant is a very good leader, and I think we all agree that young people can get together to help people during natural calamities. And this way, Prashant overcame his grief and took charge of the situation. And also, being young, we all can use our strength and energy to help others in the time of need, according to the need that is there in our society. Here we don't have such natural calamities every now and then, but there are some places it always happens there. So not necessary that we should go there and help them going there. No? Here also we can help the people nearby. They are in actual need. We have read in the newspapers and watched also in the television that during COVID-19, during lockdown, how the people from different areas were affected and they were helped by the local people in those areas. And in Ahmednagar also, I'm sure many of you might have helped many people by giving some money or donating amount or by giving some food or shelter, some or the other way. Everybody has tried that everybody should be safe in this crisis and you learn. Right, dear students? So that's it for today. Any query, any doubt? Please let me know. You have been very quiet today. I'm only speaking. You are all just listening. Any doubt about this story? Did you understand, everyone? Please say something. Yes, no, any query, any doubt, something you say.
Yes, sir.
Very good, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay then. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you,
day
sir.
ahead. Bye. Take care.
Bye, sir.